What is up, everybody? It's Flex here, and today I'm going to show you a game in the VK 4503, the new tier 7 German heavy premium tank, which is actually pretty good. It goes relatively fast. The power to weight is not that good, but it has really good terrain resistances, which means it's still pretty speedy, as you can see, going almost 36, 37 here. The gun is really good. It's pretty much the Tiger 1 gun without the DPM. The DPM is like 400 lower. However, you don't really tend to notice it too much because the DPM is like on par with all the other tier 7 heavies now. The armor itself is 100 frontal and 100 frontal on the turret as well. The turret is not bouncy at all. I mean, you might say so because like it's angled and stuff, but it's basically the stock Tiger 2 turret. The front looks a bit like a Tiger 2, but it's only 100 armor, not the 150 that the Tiger 2 gets. And the lower plate is really strong as well. It's not really a weak spot on this tank, funnily enough. So basically you have a bit more speedy, more brawler type Tiger 1 that doesn't have the DPM to Tiger 1, but the DPM is on par with all the other tier 7 heavy tanks. Now the gun stats are really good. Like I said, on par with the Tiger 1, if not a lot better. The tank does not carry third stabs like the T29 does, but it feels like it has third stabs. With really good pen as well. It's 203, and the premium pen is like 237. And in this matchmaking, obviously it's really good. There's only 4 tier 7s, a bunch of tier 6s, and a couple of tier 5s. Not even the best matchmaking you can get. You can get more tier 5s than this. But this is extremely good matchmaking, and it's pretty good to show it off, this tank, and how well it performs in this matchmaking. And I'll do another replay versus a whole lot of tier 8. So you can kind of make your mind up between the two. But I want to show you guys this one because, well, you're not going to have shit matchmaking every time. You're going to have good matchmaking every once in a while. So the matchmaking is fairly fair, but there's a lot of artillery. And luckily enough, I've not really been shot at them, by them. But as you can see, the lack of DPM is not super noticeable. I can still take my shots. It still feels like it shoots relatively fast. Like I said, the gun feels really accurate. The shell velocity is 1000 on the AP, which is really nice and really refreshing at this tier as well. So, just speaking, also this thing has -8 gun depression. That is also pretty sweet. It's not quite the American -10, but it's better than the IS for sure, and it's actually a degree better on the Tiger than the Tiger 1 as well. Has 240 alpha, just like the Tiger 1 gun. As you can see, on a ridgeline like this, it feels pretty comfortable to play it. You still have to be careful because like the turret is not good at all, but because of the way the gun handles, you don't have to show your turret or stay in the line of fire too long. So there, as you can see, as long as you take your shots relatively quickly and back off quickly enough, a lot of people will just miss you or not be able to take the shot in the first place. I know the comment was there, but it wasn't spotted anymore. Which leads me on to another point. The fuel range on this tank is excellent. I'm running this with Brothers in Arms, and I think 1 fuel range skill, and I got better than full fuel range right now, as you can see by the mini map. And here we go again. See, you might not notice it too much, but like play any of the other tier 7s, and you will know that this speed is actually not that bad for tier 7 heavies. The only thing that's still better than this, and this is probably going to be as no surprise to any of you, the IS and all of those clones are still better than this tank. But this is not a bad tank at all. It's very Russian-like in the way the maneuverability is. It doesn't have the alpha, but it does have other stats that make the gun pretty damn good. So the Comet is still alive in their team with an S51 and the Skoda. And they still have an M44 as well. Did about 3000 damage going up north there. We took a lot of hits, but we also have 1400 health. And we're heavy tanks. We're supposed to be the ones up front, you know, doing all the heavy lifting. But yeah, hopefully you guys notice in the replay that the gun handles really well. And the 1000 shell velocity is really nice to have. I checked on the IS, which has about 790 speed on the AP shells. But yeah, that's it. Do I think this is better than T29? Probably. T29 is really good, and hold down there's nothing quite like it. But the combination with this gun and the speed that it gets, and with some kind of armor that sort of works for side scraping, you know, it's not bad for as far as tier 7 premiums go. However, it's already been released on NA. I don't know, like, I don't know why NA got this already, because I think you can make videos about it until the 3rd of this month. So it's a bit weird, but NA is already selling it. And the only shocking thing is about this tank is that, well, they released a pretty good premium. Like, it's alright, it's still tier 7. So it won't make as much money as a tier 8 in any circumstances, basically. But they stated that this is, I do believe, around $37? Or the rough equivalent in euros would be about 32, 31 euros. And at that price, it is not a good purchase. Like, you can buy any of the you can almost buy any other tier 8 that doesn't have preferential matchmaking with that money. You can buy a CDC, you can buy an STA2, you can buy, you know, all those things. So at that price, definitely not worth it. Being a tier 7, it does mean that during the huge discounts during Christmas and, like, you know, Veterans Day or whatever, tier 7s do get minus 30% off, whereas the tier 8s get minus 15. So it might be worth picking up then, but, like, it's so expensive. And I don't know why. And I feel like something should be done here, because, like, another tier 7 that's expensive is the 1815A for some reason. It's like 25 bucks. And the SU-122-44 is also really expensive. I never realized this because I bought mine 4 years ago. But that thing is also almost 26 euros as well. So at plus 30 euros, if that's the price they're gonna give it, it's not worth it. We should not, like, allow wargaming to benefit from that. Like, we should say as a community, like, no, fuck off. We need, like, 20 bucks, you know? We need 21 euros or something. Which is still, like, insane when you think about it for a premium. Then we pick up the 6 kill, over 3,000 damage. I've been talking a lot about the prices because, well, basically I've been moving around the entire map. It's like doing a whole circle. But you will see, if you pay attention to the replay, that it's relatively speedy, and that the gun is very nice. Obviously I'm not going to load HE here, and I loaded HE on the M44 as well. To, you know, one-shot those, because otherwise 240 Alpha's not going to take him out. So yeah, it's a good tank. Especially against its own tier. At tier 8 it can still perform relatively well, the gun is good enough. Tier 9 will slaughter you, but, like, what tier 7 doesn't get slaughtered, I guess. But that's one of the main gripes that I always have with tier 7 tanks, is that tier 7 matchmaking is just so bad. In any case, hope you guys enjoyed this little replay. I'm gonna do, I think, the post-game stats right now, and then we're gonna jump into the other game, which is against tier 8s. So do stick around. Alright, so let's take a quick look at the post-game stats here. Just real quick, obviously an ace, although the other game is not an ace. 1378 base speed, 3646 damage, 6 kills, top gun. We got some other medals. What did we get? Bruiser, high caliber top gun, fire for effects. We still made really good money here. Like, the ammunition is really cheap. Although I have to say, the premium ammunition, shall we say, the APCR in this tank is really expensive, like crazy fucking expensive. It's only 400 less credits per shell than an IS-6. However, will you need that ammo a lot? At 203 pen, you know, first it's tier 7 and below, probably not. Tier 8 and up, you know, IS-3s and stuff, you probably will have to. We did make 83 credits in this game though, which is for tier 7 is really good. However, it was a pretty, you know, pretty damn good game at almost 1400 XP. So anywhere from like 50k ish on average probably for this tank, which is pretty good. But yeah, these are the post game stats for that. There was some kind of event and stuff and boosters going on, so I got like over 4000 XP, 4547. But yeah, pretty good game. Pretty much carried it. So yeah, let's take a look at the next game where we will fight some tier 8s. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, I'm not going to show the tank off versus a bunch of tier 8 tanks. We spawned on Pilsen. And we're still obviously in the VK4503. Let me just hook up this, because I don't want to see everybody's names all the time, because we don't care. It just thanks to us. So, Pilsen, a bit of a weird map. I still don't know really what to think of it. You know, a lot of people always ask me, like, what do you think is a good map or a bad map? And I know I hate a bunch of maps, like mines and stuff like that. But Pilsen, I'm always like, I don't mind it. But then on certain days, I'm like, oh, this is good driving by you. Good job, Zircon. I think I was replying to somebody in chat or something. This is some OP driving, Zircon. Well done. Well played. Well played, Zircon. Anyway, so what was I saying about the maps? Pilsen. I don't know. I still don't know. It's been in the game for like a while now, but I don't know. I just don't know. I feel like it's okay. I feel like I have pretty good games in it, especially in like scouts and mediums. But the heavies are also kind of cool. I don't know. I think it's a good map, but like I can't say with certainty. I can English every once in a while, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's okay. Like sometimes you just get your sometimes you feel like this map is really shit. But I don't know. I think it's still okay. Anyway, here's IS, our first victim. And 246 damage, pretty good. It's a above average roll. It's 240 health on the gun. Pretty sneaky that went in as well, because I felt like there was a pretty extreme angle. You'll see pops by, I was like, hey, what's up? Sure, I'll take that damage. As you can see, the gun behaves so well. It's pretty damn sexy. And this thing doesn't have first step, so like I said in the previous replay, I really feel like it feels like it has the first step, but it doesn't. And it's nice because that opens up, you know, an equipment slot. And I run this with fence, rammer, and optics. We got max view range. We got over max view range in this thing. I think it has 390 or so stock view range, which is really nice. So I asked for 201 pen. The hull should not be an issue there. But the M4 thinks it is. Take another shot on the IS. He should have been dead already, and the M4 probably shouldn't even have taken that hit. But there you go. T29 should have been the sight. So as you can see, the DPM doesn't feel horrible. The Tiger 1 DPM is significantly better. But for some reason, I don't really mind the DPM on this thing. I don't know why that is. But, you know, it feels pretty good. No shot there. The Arctic took him out. So our entire team is kind of folding like a fucking house of cards here. We've been fighting mostly like tier 7s and like a tier 5 scout. And now all the Mongol horde of tier 8s is incoming. So the M4 corpse is here, and it's like I'm not gonna get a better spot than this. CDC don't have to aim much. So we just ban that guy. He bounces off our track or just hits our tracks. Chieftain rolls by innocently, I don't know why. We shoot him as well. So this is a pretty good spot, right? We have some decent cover here. Almost a pretty perfect cover actually. It's like I shoot over the M4 and barely show my hull, if any. So all these tier 8s are being cheeky. I think they can get some easy shots to me, but I got really good cover, and I've been putting out shots in these guys for the last 3 or 4 shots. So we're obviously not really gonna win this. And I'm just trying my best to you know, hold my own here, getting some real cheeky shots here. And I hope this shows to you guys that the gun, you know, feels really well to handle. And for some, like, I don't know how, but the DPM doesn't really concern me too much. And that's something that usually is something, you know, I will say about tanks that like the DPM is really bad. But with like roughly 1800 stock DPM, it's still alright. I think it's about 1750 or so. So I'm just trying to do my damage here in the end. Killed the KB2 as well, take one gun out. We have a Loathid behind me. And now I just want to do some damage. So I bet the Gria's here. Angle as best as I can, but you know, it's only 100 with a bit of slope. And now we have the Bulldog. Not very honorable PvP right now. No honor in this PvP, brings out the autoloader. I just want to have an honorable duel with this Patton, but the Bulldog will not allow it. Get another shot into the Patton though. And we end there with 3400 damage still. So as you can see, fighting some tier 8s, it still does alright DPM wise. It still does alright with not having to peek out that much or for very long because of the gun handling, and it does all right in these certain situations. You know, for a tier 7, it does all right. IS is still better. T29's maybe better in some some circumstances, but this is definitely better equipped to handle this game that is Robo Tanks than the Tiger 1 and some other of the tier 7 tanks for sure. So yeah, it's not bad. And let's take a quick look at these post-game stats as well. Alright, so real quick, the post-game stats here. First class, not an ace, but I figured I'd share it anyway, because this was pretty much, I played about 20 or so games, and this was kind of the best one where I could kind of show, you know, a city brawl fight versus some tier 8s and stuff. So I thought it was, you know, good enough for YouTube, at least for like a preview account like this. I might follow up on this if I get it on the live server, but yeah, there you go. So we were actually first place at over 1100 XP still. We had Fire for Effect Bruiser, High Caliber, doing over 3000 damage again, which is actually the highest damage across the board. Nobody in the enemy team actually came close to that. So a pretty good game for us. Again, did not shoot any premium, and we made 70k. Also didn't do any consumables, I didn't run with food or anything. And my crew, whilst being relatively good, it had Brothers in Arms. It had like 3 or 4 crew skills, nothing like overly crazy, like 5, 6, 7 crew skills. And no food as well, because I don't think a lot of people will run food on a tier 7 premium. But if you're just in for the XP, I guess you could do it. So yeah, that's about the games here. I hope you guys enjoyed this little preview / review of this little VK tank. With some closing thoughts here. If it's really this expensive, like if it's gonna be 30 plus euros for just the tank and a garage slot, it's not worth it. You cannot justify it. You will make more money and have more fun playing the tier 8s that get, you know, relatively better matchmaking than you will in this thing. And if you really need, you know, the premium heavy training for Germans, I guess, you know, the Löwe, whilst being a completely different tank, will just make more money. This just end off. If you really hate playing the Löwe, I guess you could buy this one. But at 30 plus euros, just fuck off. Like, it's just too much, man. Like, 25 max for this tank. And at 25, I still don't know if I would suggest it. You know, 20 bucks would be a good price for this. A little less, even less would be better, but like 20 would be like, you know, I could be like, alright, you know, you might want to pick it up. And like I said, tier 7s do get 30% off a lot. Like the SU and stuff. So hopefully it will be in the tech tree. If they're gonna pull another one of these that, you know, like the moods is never gonna be on sale and shit, then yeah, it's pretty terrible. But if you don't look at the price, if you just look at the tank, yeah, it's a good tank. It's not as good as an IS, but it comes relatively close for a different nation. That's fairly special to come close to an IS. So yes, it's a good tank. It's not worth the price. Hopefully the replays will, you know, give you a little bit of info on whether or not you should buy it or not. Anyway, my name has been Circumflexus. Thank you for watching. Peace out.